Fairy Tail is back, and we start where we left off with Wendy and Kana freeing Selena from the Lacrima. You know, the crazy thing is that when Selene finally wakes up and realizes what's going on, the first thing she recognizes is Wendy, but not as Wendy, but as Haku's bride. Which is funny because they spent all that time with Selena after their big fight in the labyrinth, and you would think she'd actually get to know these people and at least know their names, but no, she only knows Wendy as the girl that Haku likes. Anyway, after she gets to her senses, she then realizes, oh, look, it's Vernus, I gotta go kill him. She tries standing up, and then she falls to her knees, because apparently destroying the Lacrima sucked away most of her magic power, and she's basically at her limit. That's when Wendy and Charlotte are like, okay, fine, we'll fight then. And then Vernus uses alchemy to turn the air into magic and create a magical dome that traps all three of them in it. Honestly, I'm surprised Vernus actually did this at first, but then I remembered, oh yeah, that's right. In the last chapter, near the end, Gray was finally able to hurt Vernus because he was giving Dragon Slayer magic, and so now Vernus is actually interested in fighting Gray. He even says it, like, I'm enjoying myself, no one interfere, this is a fight between us two. Gray, on the other hand, has no real interest in continuing this fight, he just wants to end it as quickly as possible, and he starts to just go in on Vernus, hitting him as best as he can, but as it does do damage, it doesn't do enough damage to actually take Vernus out. In fact, because Vernus is an alchemist, the greatest in the world, he actually analyzes Gray's magic, his Demon Slayer magic, and he realizes it's a mixture of dark magic and ice magic. He says that didn't exist 400 years ago, so I'm guessing Demon Slayer magic is quite recent, which I guess makes sense. Demons weren't created by Zareth, but they did become commonplace because of him, so it makes sense that Demon Slayer magic was created recently. At least in the last 400 years. Anyway, because Vernus now understands Gray's magic, he's able to analyze it, and he's able to use his alchemy to basically nullify it. So Gray is now having trouble even further to kill this guy. Gray then thinks back to how not to beat him. First off, he had the magic power of literally everyone, including Vernus himself, because he ate flames that were given to him by Vernus, technically by Athena, but that's not important. The point is, the main weakness of a golden dragon god is fire. It's heat. And so Gray then decides he's going to create flames from ice. And he can do that because he's a maker wizard, which I think is actually kind of insane, because usually when he creates an ice structure, like a sword or a shield or a fist, it's still made of ice. The fact that what he's creating actually has the properties of whatever he creates, so when he makes an ice sword, it has the properties of a sword apparently. And when he makes fire from ice, it has the properties of fire, which is kind of absurd when you think about it, because it's still technically just ice. But no, it is both fire and ice, which is actually a pretty cool thing to learn about Maker Magic, that it literally creates the thing that he sculpts from ice. And this fire ice literally moves like fire. It whirls around him like flames, and then he launches it at Vernus, and it begins to engulf him like flames. But unfortunately, Vernus still is able to analyze the magic and shatters it. And so at this point, it becomes clear to everyone that Gray cannot defeat Vernus because he can literally just nullify all magic, which is just cheating at this point. But Gray then takes an inspiration from Vernus himself. Because Vernus just turned air into magic, Gray decides, okay, I can also affect the air because the air is mostly moisture. And Gray then freezes the air around the two of them. And basically, Gray's plan is to have a fight in frozen air to see who can last the longest because they're both suffocating to death. Yes, Gray's plan is basically to choke both of them to death to see who can win this fight. And Vernus legitimately is scared. This is the first time he's ever had an expression on his face that I can call fear. Before, he was surprised when he got hurt when Gray cut him with his ice because Gray didn't have Dragon Slayer magic. But this is not surprise. This is actual fear on his face. He is legitimately worried he's going to suffocate to death because of this insane human who's basically risking his own life just to defeat him. I guess that's not a normal thing that dragon gods do, is they put their own life on the line to win a fight. Anyway, that's basically where the chapter ends off, with Gray announcing a challenge to see who can last the longest in this freezing weather, which means the fight will most likely end next chapter, which means this is probably one of the longest fights in all of Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, because it's actually lasted multiple chapters at this point. And you know what? It's giving Gray a lot of respect. I like it. I'm super hyped for the next chapter. I really do want to see how this fight concludes. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up so you can enjoy more Fairy Tail and other many things. Thank you, and have a great day.